Hello, I'm Kevin Wilson with Freedom New Mexico, and this is our series of interviews with candidates in this year's Clovis municipal elections. 6 of the 11 candidates running for city commission or municipal judge responded to our invitation to participate in this forum. The other 5 candidates either declined to participate or simply didn't respond to our recent request either by phone or through postal letters. To ensure fairness, each of the participating candidates was asked the same set of questions. We hope these introductions to the candidates are informative and help you in making a decision in the important election on March 2nd.
First, I need you to tell me your name, state your name.
Brenda Miller.
And your birth date and your address.
10/5/55, and I live at 1524 St. Andrew Street in Clovis.
And Brenda, why are you running for this office?
I feel like I have a commitment not only to the people here in Clovis, but I also feel like I have a commitment for myself. I've been through Leadership New Mexico. I'm on the board of CIDC. I've been on the Workforce Development Board. And with the people that I have come in contact with, I feel like I need to step up to the plate and be a leader for the community.
Okay. And who is your current employer?
Southwest Cheese.
How long have you worked there? I'm just curious.
I have been there since March the 23rd, 2005.
Okay. Do you think Clovis has a blight problem? And if so, what solutions would you propose?
There are a few buildings in town that definitely are run down, and they definitely need some help. And one of the things that I would propose, just cutting weeds, taking and putting a fence up to make sure that those properties are taken care of to the best of the owner's ability. And then in some instances, I realize that the owner may or may not have problems in taking care of that from a financial standpoint. And I think that's where we need to look, to be able to assist that property owner first and seeing what can be done to help him do that. But the major thing is just cutting weeds and picking up trash can improve a lot of issues.
Okay. Brandon, tell me, what do you know about the state's open government laws? When, if ever, is it in the public's best interest for city commissioners to conduct business in private?
Well, I know just a little bit about it. That's not something I've totally explored. But like anybody that is discussing city business, which deals with the public, those business meetings need to be open so that the general public can attend those, as well as be present to ask questions and learn what's going on. After all, we are representatives of the public, and we need to make sure that the public is informed of what's going on.
What, if anything, can the city do to help ensure more affordable housing, especially for incoming canon personnel?
I think some of the things that they need to look at are zoning and developing areas of town that have different types of housing, from duplexes to apartments to individual family homes. And whenever you're looking at that, you need to make sure from the real estate portion of it that you're not going in to put any additional tax burden or transfer taxes on the people that are coming in. That way it makes it more economical for them to come in, look and buy within the city of Clovis.
Have you ever been arrested?
No, sir.
Have you ever been fired or laid off from a job?
I have been laid off from a position. That's actually how I came to Clovis. The plant that I was working at closed down, and the cheese plant was opening up, and I basically felt responsible for all the people that did not have a job, and the cheese plant was coming online at that time. I had 90 people to help them find jobs, and the day that they closed the plant, which was March the 15th, out of those 90 people, we had 50 people that were employed, 35 that didn't have jobs, and 5 that had pending jobs.
How would you go about attracting new business and industry to Clovis?
One of the things that you need to carefully look at in attracting that business is you need to make sure that you are not competing with your local business, because you need to retain those people. And you need to find something that complements what we have. And by complementing, this is the structure that we have, it is the businesses that we have, and it's also the businesses that you're bringing in kind of take care of our own natural resources for this area.
What companies or businesses do you own or hold a stake in?
I do not own any businesses. I just work for my employer.
No investments in any other businesses?
No, sir.
On what corporate boards do you or have you served?
I have served on the Clovis Industrial or the CIDC board. I have served on the Workforce Development Board. I have served on the board for the Hartley House.
Okay. What are your professional qualifications for this office?
Well, by training, I'm a microbiologist. I have a minor in chemistry. I've been in human resources for over 15 years. And I feel like I bring a technical degree of problem solving and assessing a situation and being able to put a technical understanding around things that are not technical. Or, I'm sorry, things that are technical, but I also feel like I can look at the human involvement in it and separate the emotion from the fact and make a good, sound, logical decision.
Okay. To what religious and civic organizations do you belong?
To the civic organizations, I belong to, I'm an alumni of Leadership New Mexico, and then just the boards that I mentioned that I sit on. I'm also a member of the United Dairy Women, and with religious affiliations, I am a Baptist.
Okay. Who, if anyone, has given money to your campaign?
There have been several individuals that want to remain anonymous.
Name, birth date, and address.
My name is Leo Leal. My birthday is 1947, November 7th, and my address is 937 Pecos.
Okay, what is the position you're running for and why are you running?
I'm running for State Commissioner in District 3. The reason I am running is to see a new change, also because I recently retired from the military and plus from my job at Cargill Meat Solution.
Okay. Do you think Clovis has a blight problem? And if so, what solutions would you propose?
I really can't give you a direct answer on that. I really just pass on that right now.
What do you know about the state's open government laws? And when, if ever, is it in the public's best interest for city commissioners to conduct business in private?
Well, I think we should always have open business for the public all the time because we are elected officials, and I think the public should be present all the time when they want to be there.
And what, if anything, can the city do to help ensure more affordable housing, especially for incoming Cannon personnel?
I think research the area for cheaper materials, also maybe bring in more contractors. That way they could reduce the cost of material building, and that way it'd be more affordable for the people around here.
Have you ever been arrested?
No, sir.
Have you ever been fired or laid off from a job?
No.
How would you go about attracting new business and industry to Clovis?
I think one of the main things we need to do is probably beautify Clovis and get it cleaned up and advertise more jobs, to bring in the industry, and maybe better schools and stuff like that. More recreation.
What companies or businesses do you own or hold a stake in?
I don't own any companies or have any interest in anything.
On what corporate boards do you serve or have you served?
I've only, I don't know if you call it corporate or whatever, but I've been a union steward for my job at Cargill, I help negotiate contracts and stuff like that.
What are your professional qualifications for the office you're seeking?
Well, I don't think I really have any professional qualifications, but I'm willing to learn the role, as a city commissioner and whatever it takes.
To what religious and civic organizations do you belong?
I'm a Catholic. That's all I belong right now, and plus American Legion.
And who is giving money to your campaign so far?
So far, I haven't got any money. I was supposed to have got some money from the closed realtors, but I haven't got a check.
The question that you passed on before, do you think Clovis has a blight problem? And if so, what solutions would you propose?
I definitely think we have a problem because there's a lot of abandoned cars, and even in the alleys, even in the back of the yards, and there's always tickets put on the windshield, but there's never nothing done about it. And I think if I would get in there, I would either find the people or pay somebody to remove them, and they'd be liable for them. Not just the city, but the individuals.
Let me get your name, birth date, and address.
Okay, Fidel Madrid, 428 LaSalle, and birthday, 8/20/47.
Okay. What position are you running for, and why are you running?
I'm running for Commissioner District 3, and I'm running because I've always been interested in the city and helping people out, and I like to see the city of Clovis grow. I like to bring in more industry into Clovis and have our people get a job, a decent job. People should be paid a decent wage for a day's work, or a decent day's work. And that's why I want to get more industry into Clovis. And I know I need to get the other commissioners to back me up, but I think we can do it once we start getting together with all the other commissioners. I think we can talk and we can see what kind of industry we can get in here. I don't want nothing like that ethanol plant where it was going to put our people in danger and our health and all that stuff. But I want clean industry, and we have to conserve water and all this.
Who's your current employer?
I'm retired. I retired from UPS after 32 years.
Do you think Clovis has a blight problem? And if so, what solutions would you propose?
A what?
A blight problem?
A blight?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I've been all over the country. I've seen places that are worse than Clovis and places that are better. But, if we get together, all of us, even the people that have the blight, that have problems with their houses and all that stuff, if we get together, if we help each other out, I think we can help each other out, because our neighbor, he lived next door, and he had a little trouble. He was crippled, and he couldn't cut his grass. So the fireman down the street would come down there and cut it for him, and then I'd go cut it for him, and we'd help each other out so his weeds wouldn't grow too high and all that stuff. So we cut his grass so he wouldn't get called upon from the city and all that stuff. And he was pretty grateful, but he's done passed away. But if we help each other out, I think, there is some places that can be improved. We need to throw some houses down and all that stuff. But I think all in all, if we help each other out, we'll be able to get it all cleaned up.
What do you know about the state's open government laws, and when, if ever, is it in the public's best interest for city commissioners to conduct business in private?
Okay, the open city law is that you have to be in the public area all the time to conduct a meeting. And the commissioners can go into an executive session, and they can have a private meeting then. But most of the time, I think everything should be public.
What, if anything, can the city do to help ensure more affordable housing, especially for incoming personnel at Cannon Air Force Base?
Well, we need to build more houses, that's for sure. And I don't know whether tax incentives for the builders and all that stuff, because the Air Force is coming in here and they need inexpensive houses, because an Air Force guy doesn't make a lot of money. Because they're traveling their families, they have to move their families all over the place and all that stuff. So I think we should work with the contractors and all that stuff to ensure that we have adequate housing for our personnel here.
Have you ever been arrested?
No.
Have you ever been fired or laid off from a job?
I worked for the railroad, and I was laid off for a week, and then I got a job with UPS, and when the railroad called me back, I stayed with UPS because... but there was more money at the railroad, because I was in the train department. I was in the train section I was a brakeman switchman, and when they called me back 6 months later, I said, man, I'm third on the seniority list here, and I was way down at the bottom at the railroad. So I just went ahead and stayed with UPS, and so I was off for a week.
How would you go about attracting new business and industry to Clovis?
Well, tax incentives, helping people see what we can show that we have a lot of people by combining Portales, Parville, Clovis, and Melrose and all that stuff. We got a lot of people that need jobs here, and we got adequate enough people that we can support any industry that comes in here.
What companies or businesses do you own or hold a stake in?
I don't own any businesses. Well, I got a little farm outside of town, so I got vested interest in farming and all that stuff. I own a little farm, and we had a ranch up north, up in northern New Mexico, that my dad used to ranch up there before he went into World War II. But when he came back from World War II, he didn't want to do anything with ranching. And I asked him why. I said, "How come you don't want to do anything with ranching, Dad? I might have wanted to do it." And he said, "Son," he said, "it was a hard life." He said, "In the winter, the cows were having calves and all that stuff, and I had to be out there in the middle of the night with them and all that stuff." And I said, "Dad, you do that with the railroad." I said, "You're a foreman on the railroad. They call you out. You're out there 24 hours a day." And he said, "Yes." He said, "That's right." He said, "But the railroad pays me. The cows didn't pay me." He said.
On what corporate boards do you or have you served?
I'm on Casa Buena Salud, and then I'm on the Fair Board. I'm on the Curry County Fair Board. I've been on there for 14 years. And La Casa was about 6 years, and I've been board certified La Casa. When I first got on there, Judge Arnold told me, he said, "Education is the best thing we have here." He says, "You need to get educated." And I said, "Okay." And at first I didn't know what he was talking about, but then I started taking all these conferences and everything, and I started taking all these classes, and I got the 31 hours that I need to be board certified. So I got board certified there.
What are your professional qualifications for the office that you're seeking?
Personal qualification? Professional? Okay. I've been on the Fair Board for 12 years. I've served on committees for the city, the 100-year city commission committee, and then I served in 9 years in the National Guard, and then I also help with the funeral committee at Guadalupe, and then I'm with the Knights of Columbus, and I'm in the American Legion, and I try to get involved in a lot of stuff. Maybe involved in too much stuff, but I really try to get involved with the city. And right now, let me see, I can tell you, I got it all written down here. I retired from UPS, American Legion, Knights of Columbus, member of Sacred Heart, and Our Lady of Guadalupe. So, and then...
And again, you've already said it to some extent, but to what religious and civic organizations do you belong?
Okay, I belong to the Catholic Church, Our Lady of Guadalupe and Sacred Heart. I go to both of them. I usually, and I'm a Eucharistic minister at both churches. More at Sacred Heart because I used to go to both of them all the time, but then when they changed it to 5 o'clock, it kind of threw me off my schedule. When I had it at 6 o'clock, I used to go all the time, but then when they changed to 5 o'clock, man, it just threw me off my schedule. So I've been mainly going to Sacred Heart.
Right. And who is giving money to your campaign?
Who's giving money to my campaign? I've only had 2 people giving money to my campaign, and that's Daniel Griego and Paul Sandoval. That's all. And I'm not beholden to anybody because they just wanted to help me out. The rest of it I've been paying for myself.
Name, birth date, and address?
Dan Stoddard, 200 Murray Drive, and my birth date is 6/25/59.
What is the position you're running for, and why are you running?
I'm running for City Commissioner, District 4, and I'd like to see that we move forward in the future and get a plan for the next 5, 10 to 15 years as far as the growth that we're anticipating with Cannon and everything else around.
Who is your current employer?
Myself.
Could you elaborate?
I own a couple of assisted livings, and I'm the president of the corporations.
Okay. Do you believe Clovis has a blight problem? And if so, what do you see as solutions?
A what problem?
A blight problem? With property, rundown properties, etc.
Oh, well, We do have a problem with some issues with some of the properties that are out there, and I think what we need to do is work with, if they're health issues, we need to work with the property owners, and if they can't afford to do something with it, we really need to look at what we can do as a community to help solve those problems.
Okay. What is your understanding of the state's open government laws, and do you believe that there's any appropriate time the City Commission should be conducting business in private?
No, they should never be conducting business in private. It should be as open and available for everybody to know what's going on.
Have you ever been arrested?
Have I ever been arrested? Yes.
Could you elaborate?
Yes. When I first started my business, I was arrested here for manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, which was dropped. It never went to hearing, never went to trial.
Have you ever been fired or laid off from a job?
No, I haven't.
And what companies or businesses do you own or hold stake in?
I own Fairhaven Assisted Living, Stoddard Properties, and Senior Community Services.
Okay. And what do you think the city can do for more affordable housing, particularly for Cannon Air Force Base members?
Well, I feel that the community is working on that, and the developers are. I know in the beginning, the houses that we're building seemed to be out of their budget, and right now it seems like everybody's working towards building more affordable housing for the people that are coming to the base at this time.
On what corporate boards do you serve or have you served?
I'm on the Eastern, I'm on a list of boards. I'm on the Chamber Board, the Board of Executive, the Executive Committee. I'm on the Eastern New Mexico Workforce Council Board. I'm on the New Mexico Music Commission Board. There's a list. I mean, if I'd have known ahead of time, I would have brought you my list.
What are your professional qualifications for the office that you're seeking?
Well, I've run my own business for the last 10 years and have been successful at that. And I've been with the Curry County Commission for the last year. And we are moving forward in Curry County and hope to be able to use those skills with the city.
To what religious and civic organizations do you belong?
I'm a member of the West 21st Street Church of Christ. I'm a Shriner, a Mason.
And who has given money to your campaign so far?
I've only had 2 contributions, and they've asked to be kept private, but that's all. I didn't do a fundraiser. I'm doing this all on my own, most of it. And I didn't solicit any donations.
What is your name, birth date, and address?
Bonnie Bryant, November 24th, 1952, 332 Rodeo Drive here in Clovis.
What position are you running for?
Municipal judge.
Why are you running for municipal judge?
Because I think it's something that I would be good at. It's something I've wanted to do. I retired about a year ago and I thought about this. I have a lot of experience in insurance, contract, civil law, and I think that's a way that I would be able to serve the community.
You said you were retired. Who was your previous employer?
State Farm Insurance.
How long were you there?
35 years.
And what do you believe is the role of the municipal judge?
I believe the role of the municipal judge is to enforce the law on the different offenses that are brought before the bench. Most of those would be traffic violations, DUIs, seatbelt violations, those kind of things, and enforce the law and hear those cases.
What measures do you want to take to make sure that the court takes all account to assure that all parties feel the process is fair?
I think the first and foremost with me, I'm a very open person. I would like to have an open, comfortable feeling in the courtroom, yet benefiting the dignity of the court, where the people that come in front of the judge don't feel that fear or intimidation, because I would like to think that most of them, it's their first time. Some, of course, might be repeat, but that can be very intimidating for someone. And I would like to have that in a fair, impartial forum to listen to both sides and hear and weigh the evidence accordingly.
And what do you see as the biggest challenges coming up for the court over the next 4 years?
I would think it would probably be one of the things that has been in the past. We have a lot of, drinking and driving is an issue. I saw when I did some research, we also have a lot of speeding violations, traffic violations, those kind of things that can, that just are, I think that are maybe not any more challenge than what has been in the past. One thing I did that's near and dear to my heart is that the number of violations in 2009 for no insurance. And because of my background, I think that's very important. To me, that's just part of owning a car. And so when you look at those things and then you look at the other violations, maybe they're traffic accidents or things that are incorporated with those, there's just the number of challenges. One thing I would like to see, maybe, if I can go on, is the cleanup of the city. We do have ordinances as far as litter and weeds and those kind of things. And there were very, very few citations issued for those. But yet, if you drive around the city, you can see that there are problem areas that I think that I'd like to see our enforcement officers take a little more action on those.
Next question. Have you ever been arrested?
No.
Have you ever been fired or laid off from a job?
No.
What companies or businesses do you own or hold a stake in?
None.
On what corporate boards do you serve or have you served?
None.
Okay. And what are your professional qualifications for the office you're seeking?
Okay. I spent 35 years in insurance claims investigation, auto claims investigation and management. About the last 20 years of my career was management. With that, we investigate auto accidents, determine the legal liability. I'm knowledgeable of both the civil and the insurance contract law. I've been involved in mediation and arbitrations. I've been involved in testifying both in magistrate and in district court levels at different courts throughout the state of New Mexico. And I think that with that, I have a good knowledge base of how the law and how the court systems should work.
To what religious and civic organizations do you belong?
Okay, I'm a member still of the Grady Baptist Church. I was raised at Grady. Civic organizations, I am very active in the Benevolent and Patriotic Order of Does, which is as it says, a benevolent and charitable organization. We give about somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 a year to local charities here, both our national and our local charities, and I've been a member of that organization for almost 15 years and have served I'm a past president. I'm also a chair officer this year.
Okay. And last question, who has given money to your campaign so far?
No one.
Name, birth date, and address?
Jan M. Garrett, 1616 Claremont Terrace, Clovis, New Mexico, February 8th, 1951.
Okay, what is the position you're running for and why are you running?
I'm running for re-election as municipal judge in the city of Clovis. I'm running on my experience and on the work that is being done in the court at this time. I've been in this job for 8 years. I feel the court is functioning well, that we are helping people on an individual basis and helping the community at large. And I want to continue the work that I've begun there because I feel we're making progress.
Is the office of judge your only current employer?
Yes.
What do you believe is the role of the municipal judge?
The municipal judge, any judge's role is to uphold the law. And I see my role in the municipal judge position as presenting a positive picture of the court to the public, that's one of the things that's important to me. Statistics show that 85% of people who ever go into a court in the United States will go into the municipal court and never go into any other court. So all people know, 85% of the population, all they know is what they see on television or what they see in the municipal court. And I think it's important that the municipal court be run efficiently and professionally, and that we uphold the law, and also that we are polite and courteous and that we help people, but also that we show them a positive picture of the judicial system.
What measures do you try to take to make sure that the court assures all parties the process is fair?
We have, I personally do everything that I can to make the process fair. I understand what it takes to make the process fair. I understand their rights. I understand the case law that determines whether they have attorneys and whether they don't. I understand the rules. In our court, we have lots of different documents that we have printed up that we give to the defendants as they come in, that explain to them their rights, that explain to them how they can have the things that they need in the court. And we also try to have a policy of being very customer friendly in the court, and all of our staff has the same philosophy I do, that we are there to serve the public, and we do everything we can to help the public and make sure that even though they aren't happy necessarily with the way the outcome is in the court, that they were treated fairly by the court system.
What do you see as the court's biggest challenges over the next 4 years?
I wish we had lots and lots of money. If we had lots of money, we could hire lots of people to help us, probation officers, counselors. We could do lots with money. But the challenges that I see are that people are having a lot more economic issues than they used to. So we're seeing a lot more of the economic type tickets, like registration and insurance. Those type things are becoming more and more frequent. And also, as the economy is worse, I think people have shorter fuses. They have more of a tendency to commit crimes. And I guess those are the challenges that I see.
Okay. Have you ever been arrested?
No.
Have you ever been fired or laid off from a job?
No, I haven't.
What companies or businesses do you own or hold stake in?
My husband and I have a fourplex of rental property. We own a farm. That's it.
On what corporate boards do you serve or have you served in the past?
I serve on the Juvenile Community Corrections Board, which is a board that functions out of Mental Health Resources. And I have served on the Legal Studies Board at Clovis Community College. And there used to be a group home in Clovis called Bruce's Home, and I was on the board of directors for Bruce's Home.
What are your professional qualifications for the office you're seeking?
I only have a high school degree. After I graduated from high school, I went to college for a year. My parents sent me to Baylor. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life and decided not to continue spending their money there. I came home, worked in a bank for a while, decided to go to court reporting school. I attended a court reporting school, graduated from there. I worked in the legal system as a court reporter for almost 30 years and worked with some of the finest judges in the state, in my opinion. And then I ran for this job 8 years ago and have been in this job ever since. So those are the total number of years that I have in the legal system.
To what religious and civic organizations do you belong?
I belong to Central Baptist Church, and I'm an active member there. I don't belong to anything else.
And who has given you money to your campaign thus far?
Tony Jones has given me money. Tony and his wife, Toy Jones. A company that he is, I don't know, he might be the major shareholder, I don't know for sure. It's called Davco, or DavTech. I'm sorry, I don't even know for sure. They have given me money. Don and Gustina Bonner have given me money. My sister has given me money. Ribble Holloman has given me money. Art and Carol Garrett have given me money. I believe that's it. The reason I'm not sure on those names is that I have an accountant that's handling that for me. It's Charles Fleming. And I don't know if Charles Fleming might have some money that I don't know about. I think he would have told me, but that's all that I know of.